homework wasn't on Google Classroom either last night. Don't worry about it. Whatever you think, don't worry about it means. All right, problem of the day is up on the board. Chromebooks down, notebooks out. I sent it to her today. Right. Well, maybe I still will. Maybe you still want to watch. Sorry about that. All right, there you go.
Scream.
Ooh, largest and smallest perimeter.
Oh, I remember this.
Oh, you need one? Okay, just kidding. Yep. I need to figure this one out. I don't remember the answers. Doesn't mean I remember it. Everybody describe the two shapes that it looks like.
Patterns.
Take a golf course or something. I'll give you a hint on where's my. See, I have the two pens, but I leave them sit somewhere and they all kind of disappear. Well, it's fine. Somewhere. All right, this one. Two shapes. One will get you the smallest, one will get you the largest. Anyone know what the two shapes look like? How would you describe them, Bailey?
There's a
So one's a very long, skinny rectangle, and one would be a square or very close to a square, right? It looks like a square. Okay, does anyone know what one of the dimensions are, like a 2 by 10 or whatever it might be? Remember, Bailey gave you a huge hint. One's going to be long and skinny. One's going to look like a square. Elijah? When you multiply that together, does it get you an area of 11,000? Remember, your dimensions should multiply to make 11,000. And which shape would that go with? Long and skinny. 1 by 11,000 would be that. What would be the perimeter of that one? Remember, perimeter is the distance around the shape. What would be the perimeter of that one? If it's 11,000 by 1, it would be a fairly large number, Richard. 22,002. And that would be feet, because I think it's feet, if I remember right. Yep. Okay. Does anyone know what the other one would be? That one's probably the trickier one of the two. What would be the one that looks like a square? What would be the dimensions of that? Anyone know it yet? No one? Maybe I'll give those a more time. Remember, the numbers should be close to each other. Okay. We're only going to do one number right now, so no decimals or fractions. You know how to raise your hand. I'll tell you right now, it'll be in the hundreds. Both the numbers will be in the hundreds. Remember, the two numbers have to multiply to get 11,000. First Eva, oh, half.
Wait, then where were you guys yesterday? No, because I would make it so much.
Does anyone know it yet? Anyone? Bailey, what do you think it is?
1,000, 100
100 by. Well, 110 times 110 is more than 11,000. So it can't be 110 by 110. Yeah. 100 by 110. And if I got that, then I checked it 109 by 109 or so on and so on, but none of those work, so it is 100 by 110.
Oh,
Now, here's what we're going to do today. We're going to go over the thing that you had to finish up last night for homework, the little table on the bottom along with question E. Talk about those, and there's two definitions for today, two new things that maybe you've heard of, but doubtful. Okay, so first one here is that second little table on the bottom of your sheet, okay, that you had to fill out. And that was, if you remember, you had to take star A, which is what I have up there as well, and add 200 to the list, and then 180, and so on and so on. Okay, so what did someone get for the means? Hopefully they changed. They should have changed. If not, no offense, maybe I did something wrong if they didn't change. All right. So, Bailey, what do you have for them? Yeah, you can just read them right now.
6.47, 62.25, 68.4, 72.5.
Hold on, you're going to 68 point what?
68.4, 72.5.
believe because you can't read your handwriting?
Yep.
Noted. Okay. Anyone want to tell me the medians for that? Anyone want to tell me the medians for that? I see a couple people did not do it. So those couple people that did not do it will be in here for Vic today. Well, not in here, but for Mr. Hayden. And those of you who aren't gone, obviously couldn't do it, so you're out of luck. Or you're lucky, I guess. Okay, what are the medians made of?
Wait, no, I have a
Question.
question.
If you did it wrong, you may.
Yeah.
Good morning. He is. You betcha. You bet, bye. Levi? Trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, you have too many holes in your pants.
Okay. I got all of them.
Anyone know the medians? I'll tell you right now. Should be 50, 50.
50,
Yeah.
50,
Yeah.
50.
60.
I think this one should be 55 actually.
Oh.
It should have been right between 50 and 60.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yep, that'll work. Except for some.
Okay. Okay, so what do you notice what happened with the means? What as you added the numbers? What happened with the means as you added the numbers? Everyone should be able to tell me this. Just look at the numbers. What happened to the means as you went down the list? Raven, what happened to the means? We got what? Really? 56, and then we ended up at 79. That's getting smaller. They got bigger as you went. What about the medians, though? Did those change as much? Basically stayed the same, and just the last two changed a very little bit. Why did the medians stay basically the same, but the means changed a lot more? Why do you think that? Yeah?
Okay.
Yep, take a guess at it.
These numbers are close to each other.
What numbers? You're right, Emily?
This, really adding one number on versus probably the same.
Especially because I think there's like 4 or 5 50s in the list, right? Okay, very good. Now, how could you add 1,000 numbers to this list and not ever change the median? How would you have to add those numbers? You could add an infinite amount of numbers and never change the median if you always did this. What is this? Alex?
One number.
What do you mean
Just
one
have
number?
one number. Just, it's the same number.
Well,
Or you can just add one.
now
on
that-
the side.
there you go. You can add one to either side. One small number, one big number. One small, one big. That way you're never changing the middle of the data. Very good. That's what I was looking at. Right? If I ask you this, what do you think is better to, if you told someone the average price of a skateboard at this store is blank, would you use the mean or the median? If someone asks you, what's an average price for a skateboard at the store, would you tell them, well, it's $50? Or would you tell them it's the $56.40? Which one would you use and why? Elliot? Mason, I don't want to turn spinning. It's distracting me, no. You'd use that one instead? How come?
Because the medians have they don't have like sets to them.
Okay. You're right. I would use the mean as well. This is why I use the mean. What if I added a skateboard? Not saying there was a skateboard this much, but let's just pretend there was. a skateboard of $6,000.
Oh,
Okay.
that's like
That mean would increase a lot, right? But the median would still say 50. So in that case, a median of 50 would not tell you a very good average. It'd be way too low.
It's like this, $6.40, you can picture that exact money. You have more than $50 in your short.
Very good. All right. So, last question. I don't think I asked your class this. Sometimes I forget what I asked what class because throughout the day I'm like, oh, that's a good question. I'll ask that one. Anyone know? Can you add a number to this list that would make the median go down instead of always going up? Could you make the median go down if you added a number? If so, what could that number be? If not, why? So could you add a number to this list that instead of being 79.29, could we get it to go back down to like 50 or 60 or something like that? And I'll tell you right now, no, not negative numbers because remember we're buying skateboards, so there's not going to be a negative price. So no negative numbers. You're thinking that, so that was a good thought if you were. Anyone think on that? What do you think? You guys say negative numbers? That's probably the most common thought for most people. But you got to relate it back to the problem that we're buying skateboards, so there's no negative price. Emily?
Say it's a credit card, say they have money and they go, it's negative numbers.
Nice try.
Please stop. I really small number like this.
Ah, very good. Okay, some people said $1, like those little finger skateboards that were like the rave back when I was in school. Like those were the cool spinners of the day, the skateboard, the finger skateboards, tech decks or whatever they're called. If you added a small number, that would make the mean go down a lot. Especially if it was like $1. Okay. Well, technically, I guess if a skateboard costed a penny, you could put it in the list, right? Now, so hopefully now you realize that if you add a number to a data set, you can change the mean or median by a lot, or sometimes not at all by the median, right? This was from E, right? It gave you a couple words. It brought in symmetric, which hopefully you know that from the word symmetrical, right? So what's symmetric mean or symmetrical mean? I'm sure you've all heard of that before, like geometry. It's a big geometry term. What do you got? What's symmetric or symmetrical mean? Same thing on either side, right? So if like you drew a line down the middle, it's almost the same. It doesn't have to be exact in this case, but it should be close. So this first example, this was, if you read all the little bullet points, this was the symmetrical one. It's not quite, but it's about the same on either side. Same number of points. Okay? And then it brought in skewed.
oh,
Like a left skewed or right skewed data. Okay? What did you say, Ian?
It's more on one side.
There's more on one side than the other. Obviously left skewed, there's more on the left. Obviously right skewed, there's more on the right. Okay? Now, one of the things I want you to look at here is we have symmetrical, skewed left, skewed right. How does the mean and the median, and if you don't remember which one's which, mean is the little triangles, and the median is the little, I don't know, upside down T, right?
or an
How does the distribution, remember distribution is how is the data laid out, affect where the mean and median are going to be? What do you notice? I know I noticed something right away when I look at where all the mean and medians are. Elliot, what do you notice?
That when it's skewed left around 7 and 8, and it's right around 3 and 4.
Okay, so the way it, whatever side more of the data points are on, what's happening? They're moving that way, right? And like the first one, most of the data points are in the middle, and so is the mean and median. If you have a lot of points one way, it's going to skew your mean and median that way. What do we call it again, as a quick review? If there's a point way out kind of by itself, what do you call that one point?
outline. Yeah,
A what?
outline.
Outlier, right? That's what you call a point if it's kind of out there all by itself, right? Now, here's the two new things for today. All right? It's different kinds of data. You can have different kinds of data that you graph. Right? One is called numerical, bless you. One is called categorical. Now, numerical might be the easier one to know. Anyone think what? Oh my gosh, we're going to talk. Anyone think they know what numerical means? Key word in there. Numerical. Raven, you want to take a stab at it? Number. Okay. Numerical deals with numbers. Categorical probably deals with, what do you think? Categories. What's a category? Like a group. Okay? I'll give you the definitions. I'm going to ask for some of you for some examples. So categorical can be grouped into categories such as, what's your favorite sport? Huh? Fishes? Oh, yeah, I think so. Okay. So categorical would be a question such as, what's your favorite sport? Or what's your favorite radio station? Because the person will give you like a category such as football, basketball, baseball. Whereas numerical are counts or measures, such as how many pets you have. The answer is a number. That's the biggest difference. Numerical, if you ask someone a question, they will give you a number for an answer. Categorical, they won't give you a number. Right, so once you finish writing this out, I want you to think of one question that would be categorical and one question that would be numerical. So think of what the answer would be if you ask someone that question. The answer is going to be a number. It's going to be numerical. The answer is going to be not a number, such as a sport or genre of music. That would be categorical. And remember, yesterday was categorical, the one with the problem of the day where it was dealing with movies. And it was like romantic and sci-fi and action. That would be categorical. So, let's see. Olivia Oberholzer. What's a question that would be categorical? What's your favorite food? Very good. Since they would have to give you a certain food, not a number. Kielina, what's another one? That'd be categorical. What's your favorite color? Very good, because they have to pick a color. Alright? Numerical, who's got an example of that one as a question? What would you ask someone? That's a tricky one. Because it is numbered, but yet it's categorical because, yeah, that's a tricky one. Richard, how many sports do you play? You play 1, 2, 3, 4? Not what they are, it's how many. Very good. How old are you?
How many times can you eat?
Very good. What's your favorite number? That one doesn't quite work. I'll be honest, that's kind of a borderline one. If you heard some of those, Richard said, how many sports you play? Taya, you said how many pies can you eat? If you look down on the board, it says how many pets you have. I don't know about you guys, but I noticed 2 key words that were in all 3 of those sentences.
How many?
How many? If you see the words how many, 99% of the time it'll be numerical.
99.
Because you're asking for how many. How many would be a number? I don't know. I'm just covering my butt in case there is a 1%. I'm not sure if there is though. Ma'am. Okay, what do you got? Very good.
How many what?
How many fingers have you cut off?
Zeros.
Good. I'm glad no one cut off fingers.
Wait, 3. Actually,
What? Good.
let me see one.
So, I think most of you have that written down now. Here's my book. Okay. So we just went over numerical and categorical. I think most of you can distinguish the difference between the two fairly easy. They're not anything close. They're complete opposites, actually. We are doing stuff with that today. So here are some more examples. Again, keyword here, how many? Probably going to be numerical. Maybe. So here's what you have to do today. There are two big graphs right away. All right. Notice this one says number of pets. So what kind of data is that going to be if it's asking you number of pets? Numerical. This one says favorite pet, which is probably categorical. Very good. Okay, categorical. It's kind of fun to say. Okay. These two things here are going to be what you use to answer all the questions today. Trust me, it's a lot less than yesterday. Okay. And yes, Bailey, it has the cute little goldfish on the bottom of the page. Playing basketball. All right. Page 47.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So here's what you have to do.
Go down.
And you already answered A. Those of you who are paying attention, because the A that asks you what's categorical and which one's numerical. Right? So you really only have B through F to do. B, what's the total number of pets the students have? So I think most of you, basically today is reading the graph. You have to read the graph and be able to answer the questions. Okay? And you'll just have to know which graph I'm looking at for which question. If it says total number of pets, okay, do you think you're going to use the favorite pet one or the number of pets? Number, very good. Favorite pets is going to tell you how many they have, right? So, how many what? Uh-huh. I think you could look at the table, one of the tables. Okay, so this is on page 47. I'm going to give you guys 18 minutes. Because we already answered A, so you really only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. And it's really just reading a table and graph. So I think this is one we can handle by ourselves today. Yeah, good question. This table, or that table is for the graph below it. This table is for that graph. They kind of different. The blue ones go together, and the orangish ones go together. Okay. These are two different things. You can only use certain ones for certain questions. This guy says, what is the total number of pets? How is this one going to help you? That's just telling you what their favorite is. That doesn't tell you how many they have.
So we have to add a 2, 5, 4, 2. We have to add
So you add 0 plus 0, but you have to use 0. But yeah.
Okay.
For A or B? So how are you going to find out how many pets the class has? Okay, and how you use that table to help you?
Are you going to the research room? That is so cool.
Okay, so one person is 21, so you do 21 plus. One person has 21 pets. You do 21 plus. Well, you gotta tell me how many pets that class has.
Oh, so I just all of them? Okay, that's good.
No. No. That's the number of pets. That's not number of kids.
Do you have to count 0?
Well, we already answered that.
Do you have to count 0?
Huh?
Do you have to count 0?
Well, as a number of people, yes, but not for pets, because 0 plus 0 is still 0. So What is? So Raven, let me do this. If I ask you, how many pets do you have, what would you say? So I put a tally mark under what? How many people have one pet? So what's the people?
Did you add up?
How do you know if there was two people that had one dog or one pet?
So, plus zero.
Okay, so you could add up both, yeah. Or you could just table either one.
Oh, and just add up.
So there's 22 people?
Okay.
You can't just go from blue bars. You can't just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, good. Hope so. I'll tell you right now, there's not 21 people in the class. So if you think it's 21, that is completely incorrect. There's not 20, and I think it was B2. There's not 21 people in the class.
No, it's the one.
Yeah. Not how many, that'd be the number of pets. Frequency is how many? No, there are 5 people that have 2 pets.
What's the greatest number of pets?
No. This stands for number of pets. This stands for the frequency of how many people. So 2 pets, 5 people have 2 pets. Use your table too. How many people have 21 pets? So that's already 21 animals, right? Yeah, you may use a calculator. What? Well, you can't just go 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 4, because like the 121, that doesn't mean they have 1 pet. That means 1 person has 21 pets. And for like number for 2, 5 people have 2 pets. 10 total. What? Mode is most, yes. Question is, do you want the whole number of pets? Only 24, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. No. You're telling me 1 person has 21 pets. And so it says here, number of pets, 1 person has 21 pets. And then 1 person is 19, that's already 40.
How many students chose cat?
Put it back there and go in where it says value over. Pets do that. Alright. Alright, so there's not 21 people.
Sorry, what?
Remember, this is talking about pets.
I'll see more.
Oh, greatest number.
Yes,
Okay.
that's my guy.
I was talking about C1, yeah. Number of students in the class. This is how many students chose a cat as their favorite, not how many students have a cat. Oh. See, or maybe you can't answer that question.
See,
Right. But I can have, my favorite animal could be a horse because I'm gonna have one. So maybe that's a trick question, because you can't answer that.
look at this one. It says, how many cats do you have as pets? Yeah, you get in touch. Start with the cats.
Remember, just because it's your favorite pet doesn't mean you have it at home. My favorite pet would be a lizard, but I don't have a lizard. Might not be zero either.
Your cat makes.
You're at D already? Smoke is broken. You gotta want to check B1 though. There's a lot more pets than 22.
Oh, yeah.
Because one person is 21 already. Okay, so you might want to check that one. 13. What is the mode or favorite value?
So in here,
So you have dogs. Remember we're doing categories now, not numbers. So mode for the mode would be which one has the most. Which dog has the most? But you can't find the meat for that one.
one
Sure, you can't find meat for categories. You only find meat for numbers, not categories. Right. Yeah. But because you can't take the average of a dog and a cat. Well, you can't answer. Trick question. The first one is number of pets. And that is the number. It's like what's the frequency of people have one pet, 0 have 11, 1 is 1. Yes, Tim. So answer C. Wait, no. Answer C for me.
So,
What do you want? Tell me. Okay, what do you think C is?
how many people
You think it is?
have 5 cats?
So where's the number of cats on here? It says how many people have a cat as a pet. This is dealing with favorites. Doesn't mean they have a cat at home. I wouldn't say 0, I would say you can't answer. That's 0. You're dealing with category count, not number. So what category has the
What
most?
we can add up?
Most people have what
Which one
is
is
their favorite
telling
pet.
me how many?
Just look at his book. So the mode is dog, not a
I
number.
have 1 pet.
Because that is the one that is most.
So how many?
Can you find the mean? Can you find the average of a dog and a cat? No. So the mean you actually can't answer categorically.
Okay, why would I
Only
tell
means.
us?
That's what it's getting at for today.
So when, 1 pet, but you can remember, right, that's 2 pets, right? So now I have 2 people. Each of them has 2 pets.
The mean and mode, or mode and mean.
So each.
Okay. And let's talk about this one, right? Let's talk about favorite. Okay, so what did the mode? What had the most? Dog, that's the mode. So now we're dealing with categories, not numbers. Now the mean, you add these all up, you divide by how many. You're gonna take a pig and add it to a duck, and that's what that's what's getting at. Categorical, you can't find the meaning. Unless you do the number. You can't just take the categories and put them together.
That one would be better because it's not spinning, and this one you're just I want to be
Well, the median you still could find. You can
and
still raise them
this one,
favorite to least favorite.
I would never know.
So the median.
Well, number of pets. That's how it's out here. How's that one? Thomas's student in this class, how many pets does he have? You couldn't tell me for sure, right? Because he has exactly the same. I would say, I can't tell you for sure, or I can say the average number of pets is late, so you might have some pets. Like you didn't be the average, it's the average. The girls in the class, they pay for that. I said you don't know, I said you could give me an average, and say the average of the class, so you might have that many, or around that many. But you can't tell me for sure. Check out. Hey, B1. Yeah, okay, real quick, that's the total number of pets. Okay, biggest one is small. Can you figure, did you read this all up here? Read that little paragraph.
You want Thomas's instead of your class?
So it says how many pets from the class, right? How'd you get 24? All these? Okay. You're partway there. But this one here, how many pets does that one person have? He has 21. This person has 19. This person has 17. 3 people have how many pets? 6. So really that's 18 pets. Does that make sense? Okay.
How do you find out?
So you fix that.
I did a station of the today. How would you
Put
describe
that
your
paragraph up there.
class? What would you say?
Can you read that for me? Especially the last sentence, the last half, one and a half.
Oh, there it is, got it, I didn't read this.
Guys, read
The direction.
the little paragraph at the top. You may use the bathroom.
You would
Give us
have
some glasses. You read that little paragraph? What's to say if you can't answer it? So are you going to be able to answer all of them? Right, some of them you cannot answer. They're trick questions.
Now, I want to make sure you guys read the question on the worksheet. Did you guys read the question? I want to read it right here. In order to take this,
Ding dong.
make sure you read this.
Oh, wait. Yeah, but it would have to be. I'm mad at you.
Why?
Because you let Emily go to the research room, but.
She didn't come up barging me right
Read
there
the
before I
top
was done
like
talking.
this. Read on, no. You need to read the directions at the top of your keyboard. Read the directions it tells you. Then it'll tell you what you want. What does reason those top directions? I'm not Okay, I'm going to teach you what is the read. So you need to remember. Yes. Well, how do we know our read? Right, you I don't know. Wait, now what do you want to say? Yeah. So I need to.
Fix it?
Yeah. Alright, that's not guys. I'll let you shut this down.
Oops, sorry, I'm supposed to go back. My bad.
How many students are in the class? Does this graph tell us how many students
How would you describe the number of pets owned by the class? What would you say were the favorite kinds of pets?
How will I say?
Use images of scent and other tools to help you describe the results of the survey. What is measuring scent? For the F, mode in the middle of the division. Mean, yeah. Median. That's measuring scent.
Okay, so my governor.
Well, you can't-
Oh, I read the first, you're right, man, you're right.
There's really 3 questions.
Read the directions, read the spider.
How would you describe the number of pets owned by this class? Anyone from second? How would you say were the favorite kinds of pets? Or what would you say were the favorite kinds of pets? You can answer that one.
This data.
I know.
You done, Bailey?
Okay, I'm just in like.
Am I gonna be able to just answer the board today?
Okay.
I'm done. Mrs. Stitchen.
So.
Yeah.
Can you decipher it?
I'm done.
Can you read it for you? Your translator.
What's this?
Yeah,
Oh, why is E way up there? Why is E way up there?
Because C3 I didn't understand.
I fixed it.
No matter. No, they all have the same amount no matter what. I just happened to see that out as a text. It looks at it has the P, E, and the S, and the IS. What's that?
Oh, we doing this something like this.
Because what is this question?
6 more days.
So, can you answer this question?
Plus 1.
No, you can't answer this question.
We did on the 25th.
No.
You tell me, I'm not gonna tell you what to write. Now you use this step. Then how are you gonna say that in your answer?
That's not 1.
You should do the countdown if you had to school. If that's the website. Yeah, we do that. My sister has a date lesson. She's on the 8th.
It's 2 less. I still have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
16.
I have plenty of days. Plenty of days.
So
What?
how does it
Why, Rachel? Oh, final.
or actually
Actually, next year she's going missing. And she's gonna get out of the house. She's going to look.
Are you sure?
She's gonna go look for my dog.
She's gonna live with your grandma?
Yeah. And the basement. So then she can, because she wanted to put it closer to
Barely took the school.
my cousin graduated today.
Good, are you gonna text school?
My cousin, he's going to graduate now, so she's coming. I can. He says which graph shows category value. I like that movie. My cousin, me and Williams, he said something. He always would his nose like Mr. Stitchin! Mr. Stitchin! Oh yeah, Mr. Stitchin. I'm not working. It's numerical, right?
There's two animals.
Is it dealing with numbers or you guys?
It's numbers. I think it is.
Ah, crap. Oh my gosh.
Okay, are we starting one over where is the meat? And then.
Roll the little balls at
You realize. And then,
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Look up at the board quick. Hopefully, I already talked to them. I said they're the only two that do not have it in for us. Okay. Hopefully you're at the top part because it said, if you cannot answer the questions, give the answer and explain how you got it. If not, explain why not. So some of these you could actually not answer. It was impossible to answer some of these questions. You couldn't do it. You have to tell me why. All right? So first of all, what was the total number of pets this class had, or these students had? How did you figure out the total number of pets? And I'll tell you right now, I had some people have this for an answer. I want you to tell me how they got this. If someone had an answer of 26, how do you think they got 26? What's your guess? How do you think they could have got 26? Maybe some of you did get the 26 and know how. I know some of you did, because I saw your paper. Okay, Ellie, how do you think they got 26? Ah, there you go. They just took this and said 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus so on and so on, right? Except this 1 doesn't really mean one pet, does it? That means one person, and that one person is how many pets? 21. And that person is 19, and so on and so on. Okay? So, how many pets did they have all together? Okay. Bella?
I don't remember what I have here, but it was something along the lines of
150 something.
I don't
Sounds
know.
a little better.
yeah, like
What is it? 156. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go over some of these questions because they're pretty, I would say, self-explanatory, easy, such as like, what's the greatest number of pets someone has? I think all you should have been able to figure that one out fairly simple, right? Some of them were a little bit more tricky though, such as, A lot of people struggle with how many students were in the class. Okay?
I did it.
Anyone know how many students were in the class? A lot of people thought it was 21. Because they just looked here and said, oh, there's 21, must be 21 people in the class. No. How many kids were in the class, Levi? 26. That's when you could add it up the frequencies, like Elliot was talking about. Add the frequencies up for that one. Okay? Now, I'm looking at C3. It says, how many students have a cat as a pet? How many kids up there have a cat as a pet? Alex? 4. Are you using this one down here? Are you using this one down here? Reading wrong one, so do you want to change your answer? To what? You can't know.
You can't know.
That's one way to say it.
Don't know.
Don't know. Why don't you know? Or why can't you know? Okay? This one has 4 right here. Why isn't it 4? Ashton? So you're saying just because it's your favorite doesn't mean you have it at home?
Yeah, grandma can have it, right?
Yeah, that's correct. You can't actually answer that question. That's one of those questions that you could not answer. Very good. What about, okay, I'm looking at D1. Okay, what is the mode for the favorite kind of pet? What was the most? Most, if you want to think of it, what was the most liked? Riley?
The dog was 7.
Yeah, that had the most. Now, mean, can you find the mean for this data? Technically not. Because what kind of data is this one?
Category.
Categories. Here's the thing. You could find the mean of you could find the mean of the numbers, but really we're dealing with categories now. We're not dealing with numbers anymore. You cannot add a cat and a dog and a fish and a bird together and divide that up.
Why is it?
The mode, isn't it the mode to the most represented? So if you're looking at the most represented, they said 2 and 1 because 3 people had 2s and you know what I'm saying? Because it didn't ask who has the most.
Right.
So how do you read that question?
And this gets tricky because this is categories now and not numbers. Remember, this is categorical because it's dealing with categories such as favorite pet. Well, technically the answer wouldn't be 7, it would be dog, not 7.
Yeah, I put dog.
If you put 7, I'd mark that wrong. It would be just dog.
So the mode of what's most represented is dog?
Isn't
Dog.
mode if you have,
That doesn't make sense.
isn't mode if you have like the highest, you have like 3 highest, but one of them is represented twice, doesn't that mean?
Yeah.
That would be if it was numerical data.
Now I gotta look. Now you
Okay,
guys.
you gotta look at the answers because
If
now
it was numerical data, that would be true.
I'm thinking of what Riley said. If it was numerical, it'd be true, but it's not numerical data. Now let's check the resources and see what they thought. The experts who know everything. Once this book loads, if it will ever load for me.
I know Alex said, don't you guys do that?
What?
Stop clicking things he says, just wait.
I clicked one thing.
I know Alex, you're right, the more you click, the longer it takes.
There we go.
I just think because it's categories, that's so worded.
D. The mode is dog.
It is the
Highest dog bar.
And you cannot compute the mean, which I know some of us talked about, because you can't find the average
Oh, I didn't.
of pets.
Oh, I guess, no, you don't do this either. Oh, man, you have to
Oh, wow.
building. A fire emergency has been reported in the building. A fire emergency has been reported in the building. A fire emergency has been reported in the building.
keep spotting it. Now, why? But yeah, they're going down to different homes. Jason, take your hood up, Richard, take your hood up, please.
Guys, stop squeaking the shoes.
Take your feet up and walk like normal human beings.
Because that makes sense. Not perfect, it makes sense. That was good. It makes sense. One more. It makes sense almost.
I know, but sometimes I understand. Because I used to have my own house, I would never have children when I went outside.
They said they ate it, but you can sell it on the whole setup. They did. Oh, see, now it's really raining.
And the only people that are great. So what do you guys, right?
Test it.
Do you have a great number?
You should put
I'm
it.
glad we did it earlier than now.
Yeah.
We got to business too. Yeah, so maybe these last 2 weeks to keep them accountable. Grade them on homework. And it's on Google Classroom, you see it every day, so you know what it
Yeah,
is.
because you're in my classroom already.
Yeah, I am, see it. But just type in Google Classroom and go to this class. And then I can get to Dakota's work. Yeah, you click right on it, because you're a teacher. All right. See, I don't, I know the stuff coming in, and that's as far as it goes. Yeah, because you haven't done that.
I can show you how to do that.
Well, I can just pull up your computer, I'll show you real quick. Yeah, but if I go in, it's just making sure you have it. So, then. So if you can get.
Stay right there. You are dead. Go.
Go up. You're dead.
Stay right there. Stay right there. Go. Okay, so, so I got the water. I take water and this walks like. Tell me. Did you know that I smacked my
Yeah.
Where does Olivia sit? Right here. Where does Olivia sit? What? Right here. And you can't make me. Hey, Million Flash.
You want to see my suggestion Speener?
What?
The Princess Speener.
Yeah.
Show.
Okay. Are you just taking everybody's stuff? Hey, why do you like the orange juice so much? I ate it. Not even in our class. Oh, Andrew! You can't make me.
Thank you. Let's see what cake later is better.
Hey, you know who Andrew likes?
That's later or this one.
You want to come to the funeral?
I got my one.
The whole school's gonna know.
No.
Don't touch me! No!
What's better? What's better? I think it's big. This one's bigger than that.
And then my dad's like, I don't want to. My dad's like, would you rather the last one and the last die?
Yours has like
And my
another
first
one.
and he was running off. And then my dad's like, my dad's like, no,
Yeah, mine has one.
like 5, 6, 7, 8. How could you make that?
Thank you.
Wait, so your dad
Oh, this is the shit outside of mine.
That's awesome.
4, 6,